Hey there, friends! We are in late afternoon Bible study part 2. We are still in the NIV, for those who want to get emotional over it. We will compare it eventually to other versions, but first we got to finish reading this version before we can compare it to other versions. So we're going to keep on marching on like we have been. We are in the book of Mark. We are now going to do the rest of it is verses 26 through verse 41. That's why we broke it into 2 videos. The parable of the growing seed, verse 26. This is of course Jesus he's talking about. He also said that this is what the kingdom of God is like. A man scatters a seed on the ground. Night and day, whether he sleeps or gets up, the seed sprouts and grows, though he does not know how. All by itself, the soil produces grain. First the stalk, then the head, then the full kernel in the head, and soon as the grain is ripe, he puts a shekel to it because the harvest has come. Okay. Then, he doesn't know how these things happen. He just goes through the motions and things happen for him. Okay. The parable of the mustard seed. Verse 30. Again, he said, what shall we say the kingdom of God is like? What parable shall we use to describe it? It is like a mustard seed, which is the smallest seed you plant in the ground. Yet when planted, it grows and becomes the largest of the garden plants with such big branches that birds in the air can perch in its shade. Now, I can say that that's pretty, because I had that. I had like one of the, however it happened, in my backyard, wild mustard became the quote-unquote weed in the yard. And if you left it unattended, it would grow like waist high. It was quite expensive to clean up, I have to say. It's best one of those things, do not let it sit at all. Because just like that, it'll cost you like $200 to have a landscaper clean it up. With many similar parables, Jesus spoke the word to them as much as they could understand. Oh, I see. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. But when he was alone with his disciples, he explained everything. So they couldn't understand the parables any more than everybody else could. So keep that in mind when you're, talking about the apostles, okay? Jesus calms the storm. Verse 35. That day, when the evening came, he said to his disciples, let's go over to the other side, of the lake, he's pointing out. Leaving the crowd behind, they took him just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, Teacher, don't you care if we drown? He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, Quiet, be still. And when the wind died down, and it was completely calm, he said to his disciples, Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? They were terrified and asked each other, Who is this that even the wind and the waves obey him? So that meant some of them were running around thinking that perhaps he was a prophet, but maybe not really sure he was a Messiah. So, and there were people that were like that, because even Jesus's little brother James, his half-brother, did not believe that he was the Messiah until he saw the bodily resurrection. So he had a divided camp, and these are part of the things that made them feel like maybe he is the Messiah. I happen to, of course, believe that Jesus Christ is my Messiah, so I find these things to be amazing. Until just a few minutes from now, friends.